Nita Strauss controlled chaos, unlike us here. 11 tracks for 38 minutes. The debut solo studio album, The Hurricane, lead guitarist, best known for her work with Alice Cooper and the Iron Maidens, released November 2018 via Sumerian Records, produced by Nita herself. She played all the guitars and the bass. No drummer credit is listed, but Josh Villatala is credited as being a band member on the drums. I'm not sure if he did the drums on the record or not. 2 promo videos have been released for Our Most Desperate Hour and Mariana Trench. Dave was the one that really wanted us to review this, and Mick's going to go first.
Glad you put this in, man.
Yeah.
Fuck, what an amazing album off the bat. Like, this reminded me of the Jeff Loomis Zero Order Phase album, where he just plays all over it, massive riffs, great guitar. It's a real guitarist guitar album, and this is exactly the same. Yeah. Like, we had the privilege, actually, Dave, seeing Nita play with Alice Cooper a couple of years ago. We went to the show together, and you know, those who know the Iron Maidens knew she could play, but this actually lets her run wild. Yeah. Not only that, the production was flawless. I thought it was just punchy and fucking great. If this doesn't get girls playing guitar and going
that should happen.
And saying, look, we can actually do it just as well as anybody.
Especially with the visuals attached to it. And that sounds crass, but it's the truth as well. Like, the visuals go hand in hand with that.
Yeah, absolutely. But it stands up right up with a Malmsteen, a Vi, or a Satriani album. Like, it was fantastic. I didn't write any songs down that were standards, so I thought from start to finish. So
wow.
It's on my list to buy. I'm going to get it as soon as I can get over, paying car insurance and all this other bullshit we got to fucking do. But, fantastic. 10 out of 10. I loved it.
Okay.
Yeah, very good.
Well, I don't know if we will listen to the same album.
Here we go.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Already? Oh, man.
What?
Alright, so the best instrumental music of all time for me is big band jazz.
Okay.
And
didn't expect that, to be honest.
What makes it so good is, as a listener, it'll take you on a journey where you don't know where they're going to go next, but when they do get there, it all makes sense. This I found not completely useless, as it was a lesson in what not to do.
Well, here we go.
What I heard was 3-chord riffs with noodling over the top of it with no real hooks. So as a listener, I found it completely boring and incredibly predictable, and for the most part really flat. The production, what they did was they pushed the mids up on everything to kind of make up for the lack of vocalists. But then with the drums as well, they also wanted to get their really fast part in, so they had a lot of the attack on the drums. But rather than, think, well, we've already got a lot of mids, let's just, cool it on that, they doubled down on it. And in the end, what you got was them playing really fast parts, but because it was all attack, there was no definition between all the drums. So in order for them to try to get definition, they ended up losing definition. You couldn't tell what anyone was playing. And the drums were sitting really high in the mix, again, to make up for the lack of vocals. And then the black metal riff started.
And that's a problem all of a sudden.
I swear to God, this has to have been the most effective black metal riff of all time, because I wanted to neck myself.
Oh, wow.
Oh, fuck me. I could not
in shock right now.
do this. Fuck. And Nita's a great guitar player, but that's what made this so frustrating, is that she can do better. I know she's got great albums in her. We've all heard the great albums, but fuck me. I could not do this.
I don't think she's going to fuck you after this one. No, it's not a chance.
Well, if there is a chance, then it's a 10 out of 10.
It would be controlled chaos.
That's after me.
Yeah.
Are you binning it?
I am binning this, but understand something, right? If Big Dave Meltzer was grading this, it would be -5 stars. I could not. This had no redeeming qualities for me. Shit. This was usually when I listen to a bad album, I at least find it funny. Like, this I found a slap in the
put you
face.
through a few of those and you found them funny. And
Yeah, like, this was a slap. Like, yeah. Yeah.
Wow. There we go. 10 to a bin. Go on, Dave.
Clearly, it's a.
That's your first bin, I think.
Yeah, I don't give many bins.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm in shock.
You are sitting there like a stunned mullet.
I'm sorry, Dave.
When you started that and you mentioned the whole big band jazz thing, it got me thinking about like the classical side of this. You know, she's actually a descendant from Johann Strauss.
Yeah, I don't believe.
Got the fucking.
That's what partly what made her so frustrated. She's got it in it.
I get his frustration, actually. I do understand the frustration you've gone through.
Yeah, but I think she was catering to do a metal album. Like, I don't think she was trying to make it a...
No, not a jazz.
No. That's not what I mean. But in the sense, you can do a great metal album of instrumentals. Like, if you're in Melbourne, go watch Sleep Makes Waves, right? Mm-hmm. But the key is you've got to make sure you've got the audience is engaged, and you've got to take them from A to B, but do it in a way where it keeps them interested but still makes sense. Like, if you're jumping from random spots, then of course it just sounds schizophrenic, but you've got to take people on a journey. Whereas this, if you're just playing 3-chord riffs and it's just going intro, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, it's like, that's just, and there's no real hooks or anything like that, like, it's completely boring.
Okay. Alright. I saw Nita Strauss with Alice Cooper a couple of years ago, my first time hearing her. And I knew she was a great guitarist. Her solo part in Alice's show was fucking amazing. I think Nikki was frothing too.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll ask her and we can see it.
I knew I was going to like this album, I just wasn't prepared for how much I would actually fucking love it when I heard it. From start to finish, she delivers amazing guitar chops, and most importantly, with instrumental music, her songs are diverse and have great structure.
I'm sorry, Dave.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
You're going to do anything I tell you to.
Well, hang on.
Drink this.
Yeah, you definitely need some Franklin York.
There's going to be a recurring theme for the next 2 weeks, folks.
Memorable riffs, great use of melody, her solos are truly amazing. The drumming really complements the playing as well. If you like it frantic, then this album delivers.
Yeah.
When I first listened to this, I was mowing the lawn on a 30-degree day. It was fucking hot.
Why were you doing that?
I had to get the albums listened to, and there's any chance I had to mow the lawn. Anytime I had to do it, it had to be done. Because I don't do it for like a very long time, and the grass is like fucking... So, yeah.
I was just about to say, you're a responsible person mowing the lawn.
No, if you see grass is fucking high, it's probably my place.
I mow and review. Multitasking.
So anyway, it's a 30-degree day, I'm dripping sweat, and fucking her cover of The Show Must Go On came on. I'm dripping sweat. It gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
It is a fucking emotive piece of guitar playing. I could just be reminding me of Freddie's vocal performance, but she kind of pulls off what he does with his vocals on the guitar.
That's a stretch, man.
Oh man, I could just be like picturing what the original song does, but when I was listening to this,
I think you had heat stroke.
No.
I don't know. The original song is fantastic.
The original song is fucking fantastic, and she did a great cover of it. 8 out of 10. Marina Trench, Prepare for War, The Quest, Hope Grows, The Show Must Go On, and Lion Among Wolves. You're wrong.
Alright, well, for my take, first things first, can we just dispense with the being good for a girl conversation that always surrounds these artists, because she can fucking play. Can we just dispense with that?
Yeah.
She will put all of us on a guitar to shame, hands down. Alright, no problem admitting that.
I'll kill her on air guitar. I'll fucking destroy her.
Anyone who says she's good for a girl, she's better than you.
Yeah. And all the other wanker guitar comments on fucking YouTube about her and Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm. You go through their videos on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Half of them are just adolescent males.
No.
Yeah, well, get out of your mother's basement, pick up an actual guitar and see how well you
do
go
something
with it.
constructive.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to get on to that, because it's just, can we just nix that? Because she's made a point of saying in the past that she's always had to feel like she's had to do more to prove that she's... Can we just fuck that off? Like, if they're good, they're good. Acknowledge it, and everyone will be happy. Just fucking acknowledge it. She can not only play, she actually fucking slays it on guitar. She can... Wow. You can tell the amount of time she spent refining her craft, as far as I'm concerned. She's extremely technically proficient. There is some good feel in this as well. It isn't just a bunch of notes because she can. I found it to be pretty tasteful overall. I think the composition was good. You can appreciate the classical influence from her background on this one. There's plenty of balls in the riffs and all that sort of stuff, and blistering solos, as you expect. The songs themselves are interesting enough for mine. They keep you with it. I generally struggle with these sorts of albums because... albums that are made by a guitarist for guitarists to listen to, they don't hold my attention too well. This wasn't too bad. The classical side of music was a good gateway for me to get into it. It's all instrumental, which is actually quite diverse for that thing. That it's plenty of chugging, heavy riffs. I know what you were saying about the 3-chord riffs. It's a penchant and it is through it, but I enjoyed it, so for my taste it worked. At some points with the chugging up, I got kind of reminded a bit of Devin Townsend a little bit, which was cool for me. It's another gateway for me to get into it. There's lots going on if you take it in on repeat listens. There's a lot of shifts within things to listen to. I thought it all fit together pretty well. It's a nice mid-song change as well. There is swing and swagger with the way these songs are composed and played. It was interesting for mine going through the research that she had to borrow an acoustic to do this record. Because she doesn't even own an acoustic guitar. I think you should unfuck that, okay? Having an acoustic guitar is actually really good. Where this fell down for me a bit was the way it's been put together. I'm a little bit confused as to just how this was done. There are times when things feel like real instruments, like the drums and the keys. They actually feel like real instruments, but there are times when it feels someone has just been let fucking loose with a MIDI plug-in, and it's not organic at all. It just feels like someone's just gone, I've got a keyboard and a MIDI plugin and loop the fuck out of that, and then they're nothing more than backing tracks for the guitarist to go crazy over. And that lost me. I didn't like that part of it. Not overly bad, I'm making it sound worse than it is, but it cheapened it. It's like, if you can do so much and you can play so well, why are you making it like it's guitar karaoke? And that's what it felt like to me in a lot of respects. I found an album a couple of years ago by Wolf Hoffman, and it was purely instrumental stuff, and that for me was the benchmark on how to do this sort of music. And she didn't. I reckon I'd love to see what she could do working with him, because I think that would be one they can both play, so the duet side of that would be fucking cool. But I think she can actually learn a bit about how to make it feel organic, and the production things you're talking about and stuff would make it work better and be more organic and actually feel more real and emotive in my mind, as opposed to, like I said, guitar karaoke in a lot of respects. If you listen to the Wolf Hoffman stuff, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then you're going to be confused as fuck right now. The drums in particular felt like a digital plugin at times. That just switched me off. It pulled me right out of the songs. Overall, the mix isn't bad. So for Nita, I think it's her first attempt at mixing a record. The mix wasn't bad, so credit where due for that. It's pretty well balanced, good layering and depth, and I love the use of reverb on this too. But I can't sit back and enjoy it when things stick out at me, and that's where the digitized thing it made it hard to actually, like, does it flow or not? It's hard to tell when you get distracted by something. You get lost, you get pulled out of the moment. In theory, it's well done. It's got a great blend of tracks, it's balanced out in the right order and all that sort of stuff. Nice use of the softer moments in this as well. It's good overall lengthwise. It's just, I don't know, sometimes some of this feels like a bit of an afterthought, and the cover of Show Must Go On, it's not bad, but don't compare it to the original. The original shit.
The original's much better.
Yeah.
But it's a great cover.
No, when it first came on and I heard that synth tone, I'm like, oh no. And it never grabbed me after that. Like, it's okay, but no. I would have picked something different than that.
The ballsy song to tackle.
It is.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Credit where due for having a go at it, but the thing is, like, the guitar bends on that solo came off as, like, you're trying to compare a guitar bend to the emotive vocal performance, and it's like, get fucked. They're not even close. And for me, that song by Queen, it's all about, like, that song, the emotive contents, the meaning, the lyrics. Yeah. That's what sells it. Yeah, and that's what's so important to that song. If you're going to cover it, have a vocalist to try and put some emotion into it, because the guitar doesn't convey it the same way, not for me. She can play, she can write. I would have just liked it to be more organic, and it didn't feel like it. That's what for me. But I do want more from her, though. I think this shows what she's capable of. I reckon there's a great big do more work, do more, get better at doing this sort of stuff, because there's a lot more out of her than what this album represents. And I'd like her to learn from this album and move on to do things. Just let things play. That's why she doesn't own an acoustic. go play with an acoustic for a while to see how things can ring out and not be digitized, and you can exist in the world in that moment with the acoustic guitar.
And
like that.
go to Finland.
Yeah, go to Finland.
And play your acoustic in Finland,
Yeah.
and then record your album.
Yeah.
And these guys will be happy.
Get the bass player to record
And actually,
it.
Yeah.
I think what it is, I actually think what it is with the with her scheduling with Alice Cooper and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I think she's only played some of these songs with a full band, and some of them were ideas that she finished maybe with a drum machine or something
Yeah.
like that. That's not the worst thing, and a lot of bands or artists
It's
have
not
done
the
this.
worst thing.
But I think that's what it is, and I think that's
Yeah.
what's leaping out at the both of you.
Yeah, that's what.
I think that.
Yeah,
there's
because
probably not a drummer on
there
the-
were things like,
Yeah.
like the use of the string, the cello, whatever it was. That,
Yeah.
that felt okay. But then when you can hear like snap to the grid drums and stuff, and it's just no. I wanted feel across the board, not just a guitarist album. And that for me is what it is. It's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm making it sound worse than it is in my review. I did
think so.
I did enjoy it, but. If
Arseholes.
you're not into music for the sake of playing guitar, you're not going to enjoy this one at all.
Yeah, it's a
That's-
guitarist
Yeah.
album. You know,
That's
like,
what
I
it
don't know
is.
what Nick would think it is. He doesn't like instrumental albums.
Well,
Yeah, he's a guitarist.
I know, but it'd be interesting. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. The Stillness at the End, Allegria, Hope Grows, The Quest, and Pandemonium 2.0 are my standouts. Check it out for yourselves. Let us know what you think. That's divisive.
I'm sorry, Dave.
You should be. Swallow my Franklin.
apologise to me as well.
I'm sorry, Mick.
Fucking hell.
Your first bin, my friend. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
There you go, you got to witness history. That was his first ever bin. Evergrey. I'm curious how this has gone.
Are you hot? You look like you're boiling over there.
She's cooking. Hot dog.
This table squirts more than my neck.
Oh, if she wants to get out, she'll get out. She'll get up and she'll let us know if she wants to get out. Caesar's just sleeping at our feet.
Yeah. Just farting and fucking.
It's funny. He could be a lot worse in that regard, but he's not too bad. Oh, so I go and take a photo of you with your tongue hanging out of your head.
Sucks when that happens.
Hot dog. Instagram story.
Just
Here we go.
rolling the eyes back like the Undertaker and everything. Fucking all happening.
And I get back here and
Yeah.
get it out. Fuck
You
you.
can take it from there. Just zoom it in.
Try. Let's see how this goes for me.
All we need is like a little
Got it.
ball. Table tennis ball.
Oh, hang on. Ping pong balls in
Yeah.
this conversation could go horribly wrong.
Dave's almost out of his water too.
Yeah, I know.
It's all downhill for now.
It is.
Alright.
Grab a beer next, I'll be fucked.
You
Shall
grab
we?
it.
Yes.
Alright.